January's supply-demand report from USDA was seen as a bombshell, but what did this month's report bring? I'm Clinton Griffiths, coming to you from this year's Top Producer Summit in Nashville, Tennessee, where analysts are reacting to new numbers from the agency, calling them a little bit more friendly. Now let's break down the latest when it comes to ending stocks, with USDA lowering U.S. corn ending stocks to 2.1 billion bushels. That's thanks to exports being raised 100 million bushels to 3.3 billion. Meanwhile, no change to soybean stocks at 350 million bushels, and wheat just a slight bump up from January to 931 million bushels. Ag News' Michelle Rook joins me here from Top Producer in Nashville. Michelle, the news helped move markets a little bit on Tuesday.
Yeah, Clinton, we generally see only minimal changes in the February WASDE, but the agency did raise corn exports to a record level and took 100 million bushels off the corn balance sheets, so that was constructive. For soybeans, USDA raised the Brazilian crop to a record 180 million metric tons, but left ending stocks unchanged at a tight 350 million bushels. USDA did tighten the U.S. corn balance sheet slightly in the February WASDE with an increase in exports, which were already at a record pace. Weekly sales totals are 31% ahead of last year. Shipments are 47% higher, but even then, it was a surprise.
Yeah, so increased exports, 100 million bushels. That doesn't seem like a lot, but we were already at 3.2. The pace is now 3.3, so 3.3 billion bushels when we've never exported more than 3 billion bushels. So an aggressive export program and the global demand looks like it's there.
That brought ending stocks down to around 2.1 billion bushels on corn, so at least going in the right direction. But is there any way to get ending stocks under 2 billion bushels?
You know, you think historically, thinking of maybe the difficulty of exporting 3 billion bushels, and here we are on pace to beat that by 10%. And so, you know, I think it'd be difficult to push you back down below that number. But we also had over a 17 billion bushel crop, right? So yes, those carryout stocks are going to be tough to work lower. And yes, that puts a little bit of a cap on price as well, too.
USDA left soybean carryout unchanged at 350 million bushels as they kicked the can down the road on the additional soybean demand from China.
So I think that the World Board said, let's wait and see. We don't have any specifics. We aren't sure what this actually means, and we'll hold steady. Steady across the board. No price change, no export change, no carry-out stocks change. So saying, hey, this 8 million metric tons, we're not sure what that means and how it folds into previous discussions.
The agency left South American production unchanged, with the exception of an increase in the Brazilian soybean crop to a record 180 million metric tons.
So 2 million metric tons more in Brazil, you know, and I think that that's right in line with the trade expectations in terms of what they were expecting.
Wheat balance sheet saw minimal changes, with U.S. wheat ending stocks raised 5 million bushels to 931 million. World ending stocks were lowered nearly 0.8 million metric tons to 277.5. I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Day.